I don't know. Anyway, alright guys, hello and welcome back to the Kitsukune channel. I know it has been a bit since we have done this, but hey, with face cam now, look at that. I am officially off of work for the summer as school has just ended about a week ago. So I've been getting a lot of things set up and working in the background, and we are finally back to doing the podcast once again. This is episode 4 of Shenanigan Frenzy. All the episodes should be up by the time this goes live, so we'll see. Well, live on YouTube, I'm not sure. I don't remember. I think I may have just privated the last episode. I gotta go check. I was behind a lot, because of school stuff. So, we are back with episode 4 of Shenanigan Frenzy. Here with us today, we have, of course, yours truly, Kitsukune. We also have Xiao Gale, who is here to my right.
Hi.
Yes, she is. Then we have Starry Dragon below me.
Hello.
You gonna say anything, or are you just gonna giggle, Mary?
I said hello.
It did not
I
come
guess
through.
it didn't come through.
I didn't hear anything.
Next
No,
star, we
hello.
have Beardy. Of course, us below Mary, or Star, we have my boyfriend Henry.
Hey, it's me. I went out last. I wasn't picked last.
It all depends on the order of everything. Last but not least, seated by his children. No, you're fine. Is our lovely Thomas, or Ame, also known here on YouTube as Fuzzy Pink Strap-on.
He's gonna make you say it every week.
I know. Do you want to say anything for a hello, or do you think your kid got that for you?
I think the kid's got us secured.
You took care. Of it.
So yeah, we have a pretty chill episode. We have one or two who might join us. They are Corey May and Driving Dark Rage, both who have hung out with us before on streams.
Jeez.
If they show up, they show up. If they don't, they don't. You know, we're just gonna go like normal. So last week, if you remember, last episode we talked about open world action RPG games like Dragon Age, Genshin Impact, help for Horizon Zero Dawn. Because I could not think of any of them for a second. And this week we are talking about a complete left turn. If you can't tell by 3 of the people's backgrounds, we're gonna talk about Pokemon and pretty much anything in the Pokemon bubble. This is the anime, the manga, and the games.
Or as my dad called it, Pokemon.
Pokemon. We're probably not going to be talking about the card games too much, other than like controversies that have gone with the card games. But we're just going to kind of, just like normal, shoot the shit. First thing I feel like we were talking about earlier is the evolutions. So who wants? All except Sylveon, because apparently Sylveon gets no love. There's 2 Jolteons in that picture.
Oh yeah, there's 2 Jolteons and 2
Where's the second
Espeons.
Jolteon? Oh, you're right. Wow, whoever made that didn't.
I think they were just trying to go with the rainbow coloration because it's rainbow. I think that's all they were trying to do.
Oh, because
Probably.
shiny Jolteon looks awful.
It looks
There's very few of the actual shinies look good. Like Espeon's green for some reason. I don't understand it.
I don't mind that actually. I like Espeon's green.
It doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
But like, so let's talk about that little fluff ball for a moment, because Eevee in and of itself is adorable and a super powerful Pokemon, depending on how you train it. And then of course it has, what, 8 evolutions? Because I think there's 9 in total, including Eevee.
I think it's 8.
So,
plus
the original
9
3
including
was Flareon, Jolteon, and Vaporeon. Then they added Espeon and Umbreon, which is
It's 5.
up to 6. Then you had us
Glaceon and Leafeon.
Glaceon, Leafeon,
And
which
then
is
Sylveon, so yeah,
8,
only
and then
9.
Sylveon, which is 9.
9 including Eevee.
Yeah, including Eevee. So obviously Game Freak has not made any more in a very long time, which I know a lot of people on the community are like split on. Because I know some people would love, like, we're some of them that would love to see all the typings as
Hell
Eevee,
yeah.
right?
Yes, definitely.
But then there are some that really, like, after Sylveon's came out, people really didn't like the look of Sylveon, which I personally think Sylveon's kind of cool.
I like Sylveon.
Could they have done better? Yeah, but like, I mean, if you think about it, not all of them are fantastic either, because Jolteon is kind of, I'll say it,
Like
and
a little prickly boy.
he is cute, but that doesn't scream electricity.
It does. Fur on end, all prickly.
Yeah, but like
charge.
that could also, in my brain, be a bug type.
So you're saying
Spiky.
you should have looked like a big Tesla coil?
I mean, there's many ways it could have looked. I'm not saying Jolteon's bad by any means. Just for me personally, Jolteon isn't like top tier. I think my favorite look out of all of them is Umbreon.
She's a hater.
Yeah, so out of the originals, like I always have an Eevee. Like I just have an unevolved Eevee as part of like my Pokemon. I just do. I always do. I know it seems like a little bit weird because most people are just like, but I'll throw an Evilite on that bitch because no, that's my baby, right? And then my favorites from Generation is Flareon is my favorite as far as the original 3.
Same.
Followed on because I love dark type Pokemon and I rarely get to play this during the day. Because work is a thing. And then Leafeon because I absolutely love my I just really, really love they look as far as like, the flowiness of the leaves, but also I love grass types. Most of my starters are grass types. And then obviously with Sylveon, I actually like the way that looks. I really do. I think that like most things with the fairy types is that they tend to be cutesy. I don't have a problem with that, but I know that tends to be one of the bigger bitches is that they're so girly looking and the majority of them are male.
Yeah.
I do remember hearing
male or something like that.
I remember hearing that bit of a bitch from people. It's like, well, yeah, but I like how it kind of plays with the stereotype a little bit, right? I think it would be cool though if it had like a really manly looking Pokemon that turned out to be like out of nowhere.
Like a ground or
it's just Eevee,
type.
but it's really bulky.
Fighting type is perfect for that.
That would be
Like I
interesting.
said, it's just a really bulky Eevee who's been hitting the way team.
I
know
wonder if I
for
can.
me, oh, sorry.
Oh no! Go.
I was gonna say for me personally, like I would love for them to like do more evolutions because like dragons.
We want Dragon Eevee. Why are you keeping it from us?
I would love a Dragon Eevee because that'd be so cute.
That would be interesting.
I'm a fucking dragon nerd. Like I know dragon Pokemon is kind of like interesting, at least with some people. But I always like dragon Pokemon. But my favorite evolution is Umbreon, followed by Vaporeon.
How about that Espeon?
I love Vaporeon's tail. That's part of the reason. And Shelly found a comic where they call him a soggy croissant, and I love it.
Oh my gosh, the world will turn to ash. Yes.
I have on screen right now. If anybody's looking at the Twitch stream, y'all will see some typings for them. And I like this is one of my favorite images. I had to go look it up on Google real fast. This is one of my favorite images because it shows a little bit of everything, and it it has that super cool looking. It keeps that the one like stereotypical thing you have with every Eevee, no matter what, is either the neck floof or the big ass ears. Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's always something with them, and I love what they did in this little image. Just obviously, it's a very cutesy image, right? But it shows you like steel type. Welcome driving. It shows you steel type. I believe it shows you ghost, fighting, flying, bug. It shows you different variations of rock and everything. And then like look at their little dragon one right down here. It's fucking adorable.
Oh, adorable.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Yeah, no.
Where'd it go? Oh god, now I gotta find it again.
By the way, Shasha, in Violet, my Vaporeon is named Croissant.
God.
Yes, I love it.
I remember seeing rumors when everything was like originally coming out for like all the Pokemon stuff, where people had made all the typings, right? Like, oh, like this one could be next or this one could be next. I honestly think the next one, with how they've been setting it all up, I think the next one absolutely should be a dragon type. They have fairy
Well,
type.
yeah.
Fairy and dragon go hand in hand. They should have
Yeah.
made. They've already.
I mean,
It should have already
everyone-
been made.
All the other
Sorry.
types
Yeah.
got shafted because they gave us an Eevee or fairy Eevee type in the same generation they introduced fairy types. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Fairy should have been last.
And
I
I
mean,
wonder-
I get it because they were trying because let's just be honest, dragon is OP. It just
Mm.
is. Like no matter what you do, like there's no. I'm serious. Like you get a dragon
no,
type,
not
and
that.
dragon
That's what
type
he says.
will rack like 90% of your day.
Yeah.
Like you see a dragon Pokemon, and you're just like, oh, I really want to catch that, but that bitch is gonna fuck me over, right?
Oh yeah. Even weaker Pokemon like Goomy, I think it's Goomy, the little gooey Pokemon evolves into Goodra.
Yeah.
Even it, as weak of a first evolution as it is a super hard hitter. And it's a difficult one to take down when you're trying to.
Whenever I was playing Violet, it took down like 2 or 3 of my Pokemon before I get it, and I was like, motherfucker.
I'm,
Um,
I'm actually fighting a Goodra in a Terror raid right now.
There's so many different Pokemon. I would love to see a Ghost type Eevee. I
That
would.
would
would be
be
interesting
amazing.
too.
I have seen so many
the
fan arts.
joke.
Oh yeah, the joke, the brick one.
Yes.
Yep, that's
My
the one that
fa-
came to mind. I'm like,
I've seen
oh,
so many
God.
different fan arts of the Ghost type. One of my favorite looks is it was around a rib cage, and it had like the skull. It was basically like at the top part of a skeleton minus the legs, and it was a little like shadow ghost dude in it, and it had an orb in the center. I don't remember who drew it. I'd have to go really hunt for that image again. But it was
That
like I
sounds
think
adorable.
it was so cute, as creepy as it was supposed to look, right? And it's like
Yeah.
that is the perfect Eevee, evolution for a ghost type Pokemon.
Ghost. Yeah.
Fighting would be a super cool one too, but then like I've seen arguments where oh no, it needs to go on 2 legs. No, Eevee can stay bipedal.
Eevee is bipedal on all
I-
of them.
But somebody was talking about for their fighting evolution that it wouldn't look good unless it was on 2 legs. It's like no.
If they put an evolution on 2 legs, there's gonna be a riot,
Yeah.
and I'll be at the front of that line.
Nah, they could be on 2 legs. It's fine. Like a
Here's another
kangaroo.
one. Here's somebody who did a poison and I think this is fighting. Oh. But like somebody did a fighting one where it was like the tail ended in a boxing glove,
Oh, I love
Uh-huh.
that.
which that is such a cute idea. And Game Freak
that
is
is cute.
sleeping on these ideas, right?
I mean,
That
And-
is
I think it would be great if they actually turned around and actually did a competition, because there's so many artists that do, what they call fakemon, which is like, hey, I would really like to see a Pokemon that looks like this. And
Mhm.
that's so great because there's a lot of artists in the Pokemon community. And like
True.
just use your resources, guys.
Oh my god, yeah. Even if you have to adjust the image a little bit to make it work for like not your pixel or whatever, because they don't do pixel animations anymore. But like even if you had to adjust it slightly to work in the world, like oh my god, the fans would eat that shit up. And didn't they do that before for other Pokemon where they had people draw in a random Pokemon and it became one? I don't remember or not, but I could have
I
sworn
don't
that
know
was
if
something
they-
as a kid.
I
It
don't
was
know if
either they
did
sorry.
or
It was either they created
Yeah.
a Pokemon or they were drawing a Pokemon to win a contest. I don't remember which one it was. It may have been the second one, just because little kid brain, don't remember.
Yeah.
But like that is such a cool idea, especially with how like artistic some kids are right now. That would only thrive to strengthen people's bond with Pokemon. And like, and not even just for evolution, like in the newest games, Violet and Scarlet, I'm sorry, Dunsparce is the stupidest Pokemon. And I love Dunsparce. Dunsparce was one of my favorite Pokemon, and then they turned around like, oh, we're gonna add an extra ass or two to this thing, and we're gonna call it Dunsparce. Like,
because they're done with us.
It's just like, why? Why are you doing that to this? Like, that is so fucking dumb.
Right.
It didn't look good. And they had a lot of bangers in the new games. Like, everyone loves Lechonk, right? But they had a lot of really good looking Pokemon. And then they had a lot of really bad looking Pokemon. I'm sorry, I'm gonna bring him up. Fuecoco. Adorable first gen. Everything after that was... he didn't look good.
You don't like the Gator Boy?
I love the Gator Boy as a baby, and that's it.
He looks like somebody took a piece of American cheese and just whapped it on his chest.
He doesn't like... Even the second one was alright. The second one for a middle term starter was fine. But it's too busy for the final one.
Skeledirge was just I wanted to like him because I like Fuecoco because he's fucking cute. I want a plushie.
I think if they would have simplified it a little bit, it wouldn't be as bad, but his character design is so busy. And then but I will even put him barely above the bird. Quaxley, I think is what his name was. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. It's interesting and it fit for the thing, but it just kind of felt boring.
I will say this with Quaxley. I like his first like I like his little duck form, and then I like the second form. Because he still looks like a duck, but then all of a sudden with the third form, Peacock.
Peacock out of fucking nowhere.
That is quite a drastic change.
Even if they did Swan or something, like they should have full scented as... That'd have been so cool. Starting out as the quote-unquote ugly duckling and going into a swan. They could have still kept the dancing thing because swans are so graceful. That'd have been super fucking cool, but they went full-ass Peacock. And it's like, the design's okay, but it's... and this is me being biased, absolutely, but I still think even though we didn't get a on all fours cat, I still think Mouscarada is the best looking out of all of them.
Well, Quaxley was my my starter, the one I picked, and I totally agree. I like Mouscarada. Is designed so much better than the others.
Can we talk about the fact that they keep on things on like two legs, and that makes like, because if you think about the first generation, you did not have very many that would be like on two legs unless they were like Monchamp or something, right? Which made sense. Yeah, but
unless
like,
they were more humanoid or like dragonoid, or it was based off of the creature that had them.
Rhydon was on two legs.
Yeah, well, more like bear-looking things as well.
Yeah, but then like they just started moving over to like, no, everything has to sound like an ape. I'm like, but do we have to?
Yeah, no.
But do we have to?
And sorry, Mary, you go first.
I was gonna say, yes, like I can't remember what the Pokemon's called, but it's like the big bear, but it walks around.
Oh, Ursaring.
Yes, that would have been such a cool Pokemon if it walked around like ba-dum, ba-dum, like a bear does.
Well, you know,
Ursaring actually does. If you watch him, he will like boom, 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 like on two legs like a bear does.
I know, but I want him on four legs.
Grizzlies stand on two legs all the time.
Yeah,
when they're about to murder your ass.
They really do.
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing about it is, like, for example, one of the things that I absolutely adored was when you had Meowth and it went to Persian.
It went from 2 to 4.
Yes, exactly. That was fun. I'm like, oh, look at you. You big kitty now.
Look at you gonna go murder stuff.
That's gonna catch me a rat attack.
I think so. Like, don't get me wrong, each generation has its good-looking Pokemon, bad-looking Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
And this might
Can
be
we just
me
talk
being
for a second about
biased.
Trubbish?
Okay, the first form is cute. I think the first form is cute. The second form, I get it, but God, it's just...
Yeah, but I'm like, since when did we run out of ideas that we had to resort to actual physical trash?
He went from a
I
mouse
don't
to a New York
know.
There
rat.
have been a few generations of Pokemon that have been like that, where you look at the first generation, the very first 150, a lot of them were unique. I want to say it was the third or the fourth generation that they lost a lot of
Ran
that
out of
creativity.
ideas.
Okay, so hold
Yeah.
on. I will disagree with you. I love the fourth generation's Pokemon so much.
Which one was for? Black and white?
No, Black and White was
Well, I
fifth,
can't
I
remember
believe.
exactly which ones they were,
Sinnoh,
but
which is Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, was Gen 4. So, Piplup, Turtwig, and Chimchar.
I did not. Was not a
okay.
fan. Was
I
not
know that there
I-
was a generation or two where
So,
they were extremely unimaginative.
Platinum and hold on. Sinnoh is my favorite region. I think that, don't get me wrong, there's some weird looking Pokemon, but there's weird looking Pokemon in all of them. Can we talk about Lickitung for 2 seconds? That is the grossest Pokemon. But then, like, so like reining it, yeah, but you get what I mean. Each generation has their shitty Pokemon, right? But it felt like after the fourth and even some of the fifth generation, they just kind of had to start throwing things out there to keep up with the consumers.
Yeah.
And that's where they started.
I like Black and White because Black and White gave you a lot of interesting Pokemon because they had some things that were very regional specific that they didn't have before, right? Which was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Out of all the types, so I love grass type Pokemon. Grass type Pokemon are one of my favorites. I mean, you can see back here my little Bulbasaur friend. I think there are some grass Pokemon that really just don't look good, right?
Yeah.
But, and I don't know if this is me being biased or if it's I just really can't think of a bad one. Ghost type Pokemon have such a cool fucking aesthetic. And there's one, and it's literally
kind of dumb.
Dust. What? Why? No.
Dusclops is just like this little derpy thing.
And Boy Coco is derpy, but people love him too. But no, so okay. There's one Pokemon, I have to think of its name, it starts with a B. Sinistea is fucking cute.
I fucking love the tea. Sinistea. It is.
But no, so there's one, and I can't think of its name right at the very second. Oh, thank you for reading, Seahawks. But there's one Pokemon, and it's a haunted toy, is what it is. And it's a toy that's haunted with like the grief of being left behind by its owner, Benedette, maybe? I don't know. Hold on, I can pull it up on Pokedex.
You know Bennett.
Yeah, no.
I go to Dr. Bennett for my teeth.
I like how imaginative the ghost Pokemon are because they do have a lot of things that like you because I mean that's a great they have a lot of things that you can do with that are just great concepts, which is so much fun comparatively.
Yeah, no, I love Sinistea, the little teacup. It's so cute. I named mine Chip. Because it has a little chip, and it reminds me of Chip from Beauty and the Beast.
Okay, I found it.
There. Alright.
It's loading on the screen. Give me a second. This little guy. Bennett.
Which?
I have to do it through the stream. I can't put it on Discord because it's too many screens to open up at one time. So I just have to kind of give it a second as it's loading up. But I love this little guy. He's so cute, and his story's fucking horrifying.
Oh gosh,
that one.
There was a short that was made. I think a short. It was either a short or it was an actual episode of Pokemon where they went out and had either Ash. I don't remember if it was a short or not, but it's where they went out and actually went to find its owner, and he like the little Pokemon was super happy because it found its owner and it had a little bow it wore and everything. It's super cute. I'm gonna leave this little screen open for a moment.
What about that one Pokemon that just has that like 6,000-mile stare and it's just like it's seen some shit?
Yeah,
Oh,
its ears open or
Esper.
whatever.
Esper, I think it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
The cat Pokemon that licks at you like it's dead inside.
This is lore, like if its ears open or whatever, it would, like murderify everything in the vicinity.
Some of the Pokemon lore is creepy. Like the
Yeah,
evolution of
Kabuto?
Sandygast. I don't remember what it's like, Poltergust or something like that. Basically,
Oh.
it fires the bones of its victims out of its sandcastle like cannons to use as ammunition.
Yeah. Oh, you want fucked up Pokemon shit? Amanda, Mimikyu. Mimikyu's story is so fucking sad.
Oh, what happened?
True.
On my left.
Mimikyu. Mimikyu
No,
is
no. Driving left. Oh, nope, there he is.
Does it
Oh,
Mimikyu
hi,
have a thing
bud.
like if you see its true form, you just die?
Yeah. Here he is, little ghost fairy type dude.
Hi, bud.
And I'll try and keep the Pokedex up over here so we can kind of like get looks of what everything is. I'm going through all the ghost Pokemon currently. Oh, they finally added all the newer ones from the new game.
Nice.
Shally, were you saying something, love? You went quiet.
I just like there's so many ghost types that are just a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like looking through the list
There
I have,
really
I
is no
really
shortage
can't.
of them.
I like looking through the list. Like I know this one's from Sun and Moon, so I don't count that one because you can't catch it. But like looking through this little list, I really can't complain about any of their designs.
Mm-hmm.
They're all
even, like, the little-
such. Yes.
I even like the little tumbleweed looking ones. They're cute.
He was cute.
Ramblin'
I
and
mean, the other
Poltergust.
the other ones that are like your psychic Pokemons, those are really interesting too because they have a lot of different designs that are very abstract comparatively as well, which is a lot of fun in a lot of ways. Hashtag Muna.
It'd be kind of interesting to see a Pokemon that's literally
Oh,
just an
God.
abstract idea. It's like edges are undefined and constantly moving.
Yeah. Well, think about it too, because like they have one that literally it looks like a bundle of dividing cells.
What is
Yeah.
that?
Oh, there you go, Shally.
Yeah.
Muna's on screen for you for a second.
Yay! Love Muna.
The
But no,
divide.
okay, so
Here they
there's-
are.
what is-
Solstice, Solus,
Mm-hmm.
Dujin, and Rinkulus. They're all really
Yeah,
cool
it's just
Pokemon.
like it's literally like a developing baby, but it's a Pokemon.
Oh, here we go, guys. Esper.
Yeah, Esper, the literal cat that looks like it wants to die inside.
Yep.
Oh, here's that
It already
fucking
did.
stupid ass.
It already
I hate
died.
this
It's
thing.
just hanging around.
And there's one Pokemon I hate. Fucking Oranguru. I cannot stand that stupid fucking
You
Pokemon.
just can't catch it. That's
That
the
one?
problem.
Really?
So when I
He looks
first
alright.
encountered him, it was so difficult to catch it. It took me 52 Pokeballs to catch it, and I was so fucking mad.
I remember that because you showed it to me and you're like, you're sending that right back. I'm like, okay. I was like, all right, but I'm sorry that it gave you the shits because apparently that thing's acting like a dick.
But yeah, no, like looking through Psychic, minus Oranguru because I won't bitch about it. I'm not gonna count any of the Sun and Moon Pokemon, any of the like not any of them per se. It's there's a specific because you don't do gym battles. You fight these like guardian things as your challenge for Sun and Moon, and I'm not counting those Pokemon because you're unable to capture them. Because all of those just look real fucking weird. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to
Are
you.
they the ones that have like the hexagon shapings on them? Because I've never played it.
I had Ultra Moon at one point. I honestly can't quite recall. what all was in that one. I do remember I had Incineroar that I would use quite often.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think in Sword and Shield, which is the one I've been currently playing, I believe that you can capture the Guardian ones right now. There's a Dynamax lair that you can do it in. And let me tell you, I have been fighting the same thing over and over again, and that thing keeps kicking my ass, and I am so done.
You know,
Yeah.
I just learned that there's a Pokemon that was a fairy type that I was unaware was not normal and fairy, which is Togepi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
change to a
flying.
fairy type.
Well, no, Togepi is just fairy. It doesn't get flying until Togetic. But I
Yeah.
thought,
Oh,
like
sorry.
Igglybuff, it was normal and fairy. Just like
Oh, I see
Cleffa
what
was
you mean.
originally supposed to, because they were all originally normal types until the fairy typing came in later, right?
Yeah. Although, is Clefairy a Fable type? It'd be kind of dumb if it wasn't.
Clefairy is a fairy, yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, because it's fairy is literally in the name.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't fairy originally when they first came out.
Fairy didn't
I-
exist until Sword and Shield?
Black and white, I think.
No, it was
Black
not
and
Black
white.
and White. I know that. For
No,
sure.
yeah, no.
You know, Togepi, that Pokemon
Yeah, it
always
was
has
Sun
a
and Moon.
special. That one always has a special place in my heart because the first Pokemon game I played was, I think it was Sun, and our lovely host Kitsukune lent it to me. I went through the whole game minus beating like beating all the gyms. Now you can beat these last few people, and I was just like, by that point I was just like, I don't wanna. and then I just didn't go back to it. And Togepi was like one of my first Pokemon in that game, and so it was like one of the first Pokemon I got, minus like my starters, and I was just like, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't play Sun and Moon because it was like one of the things where I was like, I looked at him like, I just can't, not this one. I did X and Y. I've done everything up until that one. I was just like, no, I'm good.
I wanted to play X and Y, but I did not want to spend money on a 3DS to do it.
See, for me, I had Alpha Sapphire, and then I had Ultra Moon. Although I don't know, it was interesting. Before the games, I had watched, the movies. I was, I think, 8 or 9 when Pokemon first hit the States.
Yeah.
And it was just insane how it was back then, and even
So
it's definitely done real well to last as long as it has. But I remember watching the original Mewtwo movie. I remember watching the
Gosh,
movie
yes.
when they introduced Entei and the Unknown.
Yeah, that was the third one.
I remember going to watch that movie in theaters, and the theater that I went to, I don't know if it was like this with all theaters, but the one I went to at least, anybody who went got a holographic Entei trading
Yes,
card.
I did.
Yeah.
if I can interrupt y'all for 2 seconds. So with the fairy thing, fairy typing actually came out in the 6th generation with an X and Y, not Sun and Moon.
Oh,
Okay,
I
yeah.
just double checked. I knew it didn't sound right with Sun and Moon, so I had to double check. I have it pulled it up on my other screen. So with the X and Y games is when they came out. 7th generation was Sun and Moon, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Sorry for that interruption.
No, you're fine. No, I mean, it was surprising just how well Pokemon did in the US, especially considering how the general climate during that time, especially when it came to anything that was quote anime. Because think about it, right?
Anime, well, that type of thing in general just didn't have as much traction back then. It was kind of a new thing for the States. Yeah.
You were a nerd and a geek.
Oh, you were a very, very niche type of nerd.
So I'm gonna, on the screen over here that I'm doing with all the Pokemon, I'm just gonna go from the original all the way to the newest. I'm just gonna slowly scroll through while we're talking. So if y'all see a Pokemon y'all want me to talk about, let me know.
All of them.
But no,
Charmander.
I definitely remember that with the Entei movie. Now, sadly, I'd gotten out of Pokemon a little bit after that, and I didn't really
Same.
get back into it until Alpha Sapphire. But I've been kind of trying to get back into it. Then I had Ultra Moon. And then when I had the Switch, I saw that they were adding Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Now, I of course have the former, Let's Go Pikachu. But the simple fact that they started bringing it into a more TV-like thing.
I wish they had
platform.
more. I wish they had more of the Let's Go game series, because
Well,
Let's
the
Go
Let's
Eevee was
Go-
such a fun. It was such a fun one, and it was so,
It
like
was.
it's also it was a really good way to introduce a lot of like new people who had played, whether old or young. Because like I have a niece who cannot do a lot. She has POTS really bad, which it's a brain thing that kind of fucks you over. Without going into whole details, if you're curious, look it up, is POTS. And she can't do a lot of things with it. But she played Let's Go Eevee. She borrowed it from me, and she fell in love with the game. And because it was super easy controls, and it was a good way to introduce somebody into the Pokemon system that she's been playing. She borrowed Arceus from me forever ago, and she's been playing other Pokemon games with it. So the Let's Go's, even if they don't make them for the newer ones, like remake the second, the third, remake the base games for them.
Well, see, that's kind of what they've done with Shining Pearl, Brilliant Diamond. Those were technically remakes in of themselves.
I read these.
No,
they
I'm
aren't
sorry,
the same
they were
as.
trash.
They're not the same as
Wow.
the Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, but that's
But
what
that's,
those ones were.
But that's specifically what I'm talking about. Keep it Let's
Hmm.
Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu, and do Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee in this region, and da-da-da-da-da-da.
Well, you might as well just say Let's Go Region instead of.
But it is a Let's Go game with Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, and they can go into the other generations. Fuck what it's called. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. What? Hello, welcome to the game. Welcome to the chat. It does not matter necessarily what you call at that point. What I'm saying is, minus like getting off the name for a second, it is such a cool concept, and it is a good way for people who can't. Not that Pokemon's complicated, but like let's bring up the newest games for example, and I will pick on Henry a little bit here. The new games with the Terra raids, you get so many toxic people in those things because it's either people yelling at you don't know how to play it, or you're not doing it right, or da 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 da. I don't play Pokemon because there's a certain. Yes, you are, and I'm sorry.
You are getting called out.
I don't play the Pokemon games to follow what everybody else is wanting to do, and I am not a competitive person. I am not a competitive Pokemon player, let me phrase. But I hate, I refuse to do Terra raids unless I'm doing them with Henry, because I hate the whole, well, you're supposed to play it with this kind of Pokemon. Just let me fucking enjoy it. But the Let's Go games, took that away from it. It took that annoyance of everybody else away from it. It was a simple game that was a lot of fun, and it was a good way to bring people that could still do Pokemon Go, right?
Because those games, no, you're not. Those games, brought life back into Pokemon, or Go. See, in the Terra raids, I don't ask for much. I just want you to use something that makes sense. Like if you're fighting a fire Pokemon, don't bring a grass type. That's what I keep running into.
The problem you also have there is their secondary Terra type.
Well, I mean, you need to pay attention to both in the higher level ones. You need to pay attention to the type so that you are good against it, but also the underlying.
Okay, but you're an adult, and not everybody is an adult.
That is
listening to you is actually kind of offensive at times.
I love
you get pretty heated, baby.
Like you get nasty. Like
And it's
honestly,
definitely
I wouldn't want to
understandable if you
play
want
with
to.
you.
It's understandable to a point when you want to make sure that you got the right type matchup, but I'm also going to side with Amanda. I mean, not that I've done much by way of Terror raids or the Dynamax raids that you get in Sword and Shield, but yeah, I've definitely seen some of that happen, some of that toxicity.
It's also I'm to interject with what you're saying. It's also one of those things like I have nieces and nephews, or I have like young kids that I've let borrow my games. That Jinx, knock it off. Sorry, he was scratching up the
Wow.
couch. He was scratching up the couch. Anyway, I've had where I've let my nieces or my nephews play, and they're just running around fighting Pokemon battles for me and doing raids and stuff just to get like the easy raids. So you're gonna have people that are letting their kids or their family play it that really don't know Pokemon very well, or it's a good game to get little kids into to like if they to see if they want to play games or not. So you don't know who's playing as a child, you don't know who's playing as an adult, you don't know who's never touched the series before. But then on top of that, you also have the Jinx. I will whoop your ass. You also have you also have the people who are come here. Come here. You also have the people that are going to that are going to be super toxic in the situations, because when the first Terror raids came out with the starters for it, people were bringing Pokemon in just to fuck everybody else over.
So I'm gonna point this one
But you're
out
gonna
because
find trolls in pretty much
Yeah.
any game, not just Pokemon.
yeah, I'm gonna point this one out because like I had this happen recently where I was playing because you know that I'm going for something every week right now. But I brought my you know, I brought my Switch with me, right? Because I was playing raids. And darn it if I wasn't going up against a fire type and I don't have Wi-Fi there. So like I'm doing the whole thing and I'm like, man, this is gonna suck because like one person has a grass type and that's gonna go over badly, right? That bitch healed us so much.
What Pokemon was it?
It was the freaking fairy one that is the ring, the fairy
the little like the
ring?
lay.
Yeah, the lay. But that was literally the best healer I have ever had. And we made it so far until they got taken out. And they finally got taken out. And I was like, no, because everybody else had the appropriate type and we couldn't do shit damn.
I don't think Henry's complaining about people that have a strategy if it's a bad type matchup. Like I've seen people whoop other people in competitions with level 1 Pokemon in a level 100, league just because I have a strategy. Yeah, exactly. Like it's fine. I think what he's bitching about is that people are just going to show up, no thought into it, and it's going to fuck over my gaming session.
But at the same time, like Amanda pointed out, like when you have kids,
you don't have to
like
do the
kids
raids
aren't gonna
with
pay
people.
attention.
I was a child before. I remember playing the games just fine.
Yeah, but not everybody does.
Not everybody's the same.
So think about it, because we grew up with Pokemon, right? That was something that was like a thing for our generation.
You also
that was
have
a thing for their generation.
But hold on, but you also have in that same breath,
Hold
you
on.
also have in that exact same breath where if you don't want to worry about people online, don't play online.
Yeah.
Some of the Pokemon are too hard. You can't do it by yourself.
But I do max raids all the time.
Well, I will say the
by
shell
myself
between
with
Sword and
AI.
Shield.
Terror raids and max raids are completely different.
Yeah, the Sword and Shield raid, the Terror raids are much harder. They're like 10 times harder
because in the max raids, it's a turn limit, so you have as much time as you want, but it's each turn. Terror raids are time limits, and your time is sucked away every single moment you're not doing something. Your
Okay, so
Your
it's like
Pokemon
playing.
is crystallizing. Oh, it's like 20 seconds gone. Yeah, your Pokemon faints.
Yeah.
It
Okay,
took
so
away
this is
30
so
seconds, and
that okay,
the
so
whole
that's
thing.
like when you're playing through Go, because I do raids
Oh,
by
no
myself
kidding.
with Go, and
I
that
didn't play Go very
sucks.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually a system that they pulled in from Go then, because Go does that where you have a specific time limit, and God help you.
Right, but now they've
And then
made it
like
to where it's a 4-person thing. Like
and
it's
then
it's a
like
specific time
one
limit, but it's based around 4 players playing at the same time.
and then like one
Oh my
Pokemon raises
goodness.
like 6 stats. You have to sit there and wait for all, and that's like 20 seconds gone.
Oh, it's that
Right.
little bird Pokemon.
Yeah,
one?
but my point still stands. Is just like, you know what, if you're playing with other people, you have to give them at least some leeway, it because the thing about it is what you're doing when you're being super super like nasty about it and you're yelling at them because you don't think that they're playing it right. Well, you don't know if they're playing it right or not. As soon as you see a grass type, you start screaming, bud. Like I can tell, and you start losing
It's
your
usually screaming about
flippin' mind.
the AI because the AI doesn't know what they're doing.
The AI doesn't. The AI is
Yeah,
horrible.
you do
Um,
scream about the AI a lot.
When
Like,
we come
if
in
I
with
was
an
I've- I've-
Olivia fighting an
complaining about-
Arcanine.
I treat it with the same rules that I would a normal raid in any other game. You know, if I'm playing World of Warcraft, ESO, Star Wars: The Old Republic, if you don't know what you're doing, I'm gonna let you know you're not doing it right.
but
Because
there's a way to do
that-
it right, and there's a way that you're screaming,
There's
right?
a considerable
my-
difference between constructive criticism and just calling them out as an idiot. Because here's the biggest thing is you don't really know who's on the other side. Yeah, they could be an adult who's been at it for years and they're just wanting to troll, but it could also be a kid who's brand new to the franchise.
Yeah, and that's just it. Is because the thing about the game is that the game itself is really inclusive to all individuals, everybody. You don't know an individual's circumstance. They just might really like a Pokemon. They might be 5 years old and playing. Because I know that my siblings were 4, and they were just like.
I know one thing that could help that massively, but it also would have some detrimental effects because people are inherently assholes. There should be like, I don't know, while you're waiting for the raid to start, they should allow you to chat with each other in some way, shape, or form.
Well, that's
I
not
agree.
something that
Strategize or
Nintendo's been
something.
very good with.
I know.
Even
And it's just annoying because you have to go in there completely random. You can't communicate in any way, shape, or form. You can't strategize at all unless you just kind of intuitively know what each other is doing.
Well, here's the
Yeah.
other thing too. Is like, what
So-
happens if they just put tips? So with like when you're loading in, hey, this Pokemon is good against this one. That would
Even
help
like
a
that
lot
I
would
with
mean,
be
the
good.
I think
tips.
if you're at that point where you're doing those raids, you should know the time matchups by then.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah.
Especially
No,
the
not
6-star
with the
ones. You have to
newest
do
one. Have
so
you
much
played
to
the new
unlock
one?
them.
The new one
Yes,
throws.
I'm talking about the hard ones, the ones that are like in-game stuff. You
To
should know what
unlock
you're
this-
doing.
To unlock the 6-star raids, you need to beat the game first of all, and do a bunch of stuff after you beat the game. At that point, you should know something.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous to assume that
Be right back.
At the
you'd have
same-
to be on a whole nother level to get it that far and still be that.
Hey, bud.
But in
did you
the
ever hand
exact
your-
same.
would
Hold
you
on.
hand-
I have been interrupted several times. I have one sentence. I'm trying. It's not. I am not sitting here bullying or picking on Henry for doing this because he doesn't do it nearly as bad as I've heard other people do it. All I'm saying in this breath is, just like everybody else saying, there's being constructive versus being just nasty with it. I don't
Shitting on
want to
people.
play the game and have somebody shit talking me because I've been trying this fucking terror raid 4 or 5 times now with different Pokemon because each of my strategies have not worked. That is part of the reason I stopped fucking playing for a while. I haven't even beat the newest game because I get shit on and no matter what I'm doing. And it's like, I'm just not gonna sit there and be verbally abused by somebody on the internet about a game that's really not that big of a deal. And it's just like, I'm not saying they don't know the terror raids at that point, but because of that random typing that it throws in there, it does throw a fucking wrench in it. And you can try a terror raid 7 different times and not get it at all, and then retry it an 8th time with the same Pokemon and get stupid lucky because something went wrong for the NPC Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's what
I
happened with
swear.
us doing. Iron Leafs. We tried Iron Leafs like 4 or 5 times, and then we got stupid lucky with 1 or 2 hits that shouldn't have worked, even though we did the exact same thing we did that entire fucking match.
I'm thoroughly convinced at this point there is someone at Game Freak that knows all the Pokemon I've trained up to level 100 and is putting raids in my game are meant to specifically counter everything I have. I'll go up there like, oh, I got, it's a bug type. I'll go on the rock type and destroy it. Oh wait, guess what? That Pokemon who has no reason to know a grass or water move knows both of them.
I will give it that. That gets stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes also keep in mind too that like because when you're playing it, especially if you're a kid or what have you, you get favorite Pokemon, right? And so you want to play with those Pokemon. So those are the Pokemon that you level, and you'll have like a box full of like level 20s, right? And you have like your core team, and that is all that you have, especially when you're a kid. So when you're in there and you're yelling at people, just keep that in mind that like maybe that's their highest level Pokemon. And it's the only one that's the right level for that raid.
I mean, I don't go on just screaming. I start off gentle, and if you keep your stupidity up, I'm gonna treat you like you're stupid.
Or just
I
walk
can be as
away.
constructive
That's my
as I
thing.
want.
Yeah, could always walk away.
Yeah, I mean, if it's bothering you that much, just walk away.
It's and that's just my opinion. Because that for me, like, a game's not worth me getting a headache or a migraine, just because I'm annoyed with people, and that's just me.
Everybody's different.
Well, I'm definitely different.
I'm different. But yeah. And I will agree with y'all, the new Terra Raid battles are fucking hard. Especially with that fucking
stupid
time
hard for if they just took out the time limit or
Oh
made
my
it so
God,
that
it would
time
be
didn't
so
go
much
down
better.
when you had no control over what you were doing. It would make much more like I
Even
don't
if
know
they did
easy is the right word,
individualized
but, like,
time.
more fair. Because like if you can't press any buttons to skip anything, you can't skip anything. You have to sit there and watch like a 30-second video basically, and your time is still ticking down during all of that.
They absolutely could work those fucking Terra Raids better, because that absolutely is bullshit. When you're sitting there and the Pokemon's doing its first 3 moves that are scheduled to do it no matter what, and your time's just sitting there. That shouldn't happen. It should start when you're able to attack.
So one of the things that really drives me crazy about the Dynamax Slayer that I've been in, because I've been going through, because I'm getting all the legendary Pokemon, right? Because you can do that in the Dynamax Slayer. Because I've beaten the game 100% in Sword and Shield. Now I'm just like doing like, now I'm doing the gotta catch 'em all crap.
The post game filling out the Pokedex and whatever's left over.
Yeah, that's pretty much all that it's been for me at this point, is just filling up the Pokedex.
Yeah, I'm getting stuff that like
all 400 of them bitches.
Yeah, I'm doing the ones that you can't get in the Pokedex because they're from other regions right now, right? So like I'm doing those, and that's perfectly fine. But the is like you're doing those max raids, and like the freaking boss Pokemon does 3 moves in a row, and you're just sitting there like, well, thanks. Yeah, just wipe out half the team. That's
Pokemon
perfectly
do that
fine.
Too. I'll attack once, and then they'll attack, and then like debuff me, and then by that time they attack again, and then I'm like, wait, hang on, what happened to my turn?
Yes, that's the thing that drives me crazy. And the thing about it is like you can't have anything knocked out at all before you get to that last boss. Because if you do in the raid that I'm talking about, oh heaven fucking forbid.
And in the Terra Raid, I think if any player controlled Pokemon passes out, they take away I think like a 5th of your time or something like that. And
with this one, like,
and on top of that, you have to wait an increasing number of recall your Pokemon. First it's 5, then it's 10, then it's 15, and then by then the raid's over.
Yeah. So with the Max Layer, it's you have 4 knockouts on your 3 knockouts, and on the 4th one you're done. On the 4th one, that's it. You're just done.
Yeah. Is there any sort of punishment other than just trying again?
You have to start all the way over. You have to go through the entire
because in the Terra Raid, every time your Pokemon passes out, you're basically double punished because you take away a chunk of time and you also have to wait on top of that.
Oh, you have to. If your Pokemon gets knocked out, it's literally like 3 rounds before your Pokemon comes back. So like you're sitting there going,
Lord.
"Don't die! Don't die! Don't You got this! I'm cheering for you!" Meanwhile, you're like, "Lame."
They do double punish you in terror raids. I just realized that they take a chunk of time away, and you have to wait an increasing
And
amount of
it's
time.
so stupid.
And that's after the chunk has been taken out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had one that so we were all buffed. Like all buffed. I was doing great. I got to like 25% of its health. I'm like, I'm doing amazing, right? I somehow got all the AIs to have the right type of Pokemon. We're doing freaking
Stars
amazing.
have aligned.
And it was one of the Guardian ones from Sun and Moon. And I'm like, I'm doing this. It's perfectly fine. I'm not dying. We are good. And it took on its
One
second
shot.
form. And I'm like, okay, I've been here fine. We have its health down further than we ever had it. And suddenly we could not damage it. I'm like,
In the max raids from Sword and Shield, do they do that? Because in terror raids, especially at I think 5 and 6 stars and 7, they after you get their health down to, I think it varies with each Pokemon, they put up a shield around themselves, and you have to.
oh, they put the shield all the time. They throw it up
you
all the
have to
time.
do whatever
Yeah.
the game's gimmick is to get around the shield.
It's at 25%, 50%, 5%. If you drop it to below those, they put a shield up every time. Break it, like unless you can break it before they get to that shield. Which I have done. I've actually like legitimately figured out how to break them beforehand because I will make sure that my first Pokemon is like 100% whatever type I need, and then just like wait for the biggest freaking move I have and then blast them with it.
Because I know in the terror raid in Violet and Scarlet, the shield comes up, and I think your normal Pokemon damage, I think it's reduced by like it's like 80 or 90% or something.
Oh, you don't even
ridiculous.
damage them unless it's a critical hit and it's the opposite element. You don't even damage them. You just damage the shield.
And then
It is
to
so
get your
frustrating.
damage back up, you need to
Terralize.
crystallize. It's a dumb
It's
verb,
so
but whatever. And then I think it goes back. You're doing 80% damage. It's not full 100, but you can at least do, respectable enough to break their shield. And while the shield is up, you can't give them status effects. You can't lower their stats in any way. And then they can fix their own stats. They can take away your stats. They can steal your Terra Orb charge.
Yeah, so one of the things that they've done in Sword and Shield is they throw up the shield and you can't damage them until you actually get the shield down, right?
Yeah.
And what they'll do is they'll just keep nullifying the field, which is super frustrating, especially when you're doing stuff because like they'll nullify and then they'll attack. They'll nullify and then they'll attack. Which I'm like, I love it. It removes all of your buffs and it makes the
Okay,
field
so the same thing that they do in the terror raids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it'll also, depending on how they nullify it, sometimes they'll add a status effect. So sometimes you'll have like, oh, they nullified it. Oh, but they made it sunny day all of a sudden and they're a fire type. So you're sitting there going, why? Why was
Gee,
this allowed? Thanks, I hate it.
The terror types in Violet and Scarlet did. One thing that's just kind of neat was every Pokemon in the game can learn a move called Terra Blast, which will take on the typing and stats of whatever its type currently is. So if you have, say, a Squirtle, just for example, but it's an electric Terra type, if you use Terra Blast, it'll be an electric type move. So it changes based on whatever Terra type you have on your Pokemon, and it'll scale off of whatever stat is the best for it.
Yeah, it just sucks because like I'm not even joking. I'm on my 5th time on this particular one raid, and I'm hitting it. I'm stubborn. If I have something that like won't work, I'll keep throwing stuff at it until it actually like dies. I just do. I know it's not a good habit, but like I'm like, no. You will eventually be mine. You've killed me already several
If
times
brute force
over.
doesn't work, you're not using enough brute force.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm like, if you aren't dead yet, you will be.
The only stat I
it's
change is HP.
well, like you can't even bring in your own Pokemon, right? So I have level like 100 Pokemon. Like all of my main core, I'm like literally I'm just going through my box and leveling everything to level 100.
Yeah.
So when they have you do these in the Dynamax raid, they make it so that way you have to use a rented Pokemon.
They don't let you use your own Pokemon.
No, you are not allowed to
That's
use your
weird.
own Pokemon.
What's the point of raising your Pokemon to level 100 then?
I will be right back, guys.
Okay, well, you can use your own Pokemon in Terra Raid, so I guess they changed that back.
Yeah, no. So I cannot use anything but the Pokemon that they give me.
Hey,
So it's a
here's our
crap
Pokemon team
shot.
that we lovingly crafted, and here's the team that we're gonna give you, and you're getting the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, they're like, here's what you can pick from. Pick wisely.
And you're like, oh, gee, thanks.
And I'm like, and you have to go through 4 separate fights before you get to the boss. So for example, like I'm fighting something that's ground. You want to know what I got beforehand, and you can switch the Pokemon that you quote catch, right? So that's one thing that they do at
Here's
least.
3 electric Pokemon, go at it.
Well, it's things like, oh, here's a grass type, and here's a psychic type. Pick which one you're going to go through.
You're like, can I pick again? I want a water type.
I'm like, I hate you. Thanks. I hate you.
Is flying
And
super
then-
effective against
Thanks, I hate it.
ground? I'm not sure if it is.
Is what?
Flying super effective against ground.
They can't. I don't think ground or can
It's
attack
normal.
flying.
It's if they're hovering, it won't affect them.
What is super effective against ground? Ice, grass, and water.
Yeah, water. I was gonna say is the one that comes to mind.
And so, like, let's step away from Terra raids for a moment or for a bit because we've been talking about that for like 20 minutes.
Because there's a lot to complain about.
There is, and I agree.
That's the problem.
So
Welcome back.
kind of rounding it out because we've been going for about an hour. We can start winding down slowly.
We barely
There
scratched the
are
surface.
so many
definitely not.
different Pokemon. That like I've just gone through the whole list of all 1008 Pokemon.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, it's a ridiculous number. I never thought as a kid that it would be
With the quadruple digits.
not at all. And can we all talk about number 1000 for a second?
Like the one that I nicknamed JG Wentworth.
Yeah, can we all talk about? Let me load him up here. Can we talk about Goldengo real fast?
That was 1,000.
That is number 1000.
I nicknamed mine JG Wentworth.
And here's what like the two versions say. So, one version says its body seems to be made up of 1,000 coins. This Pokemon gets along well with others and is quick to make friends with anybody. And the other one says its sturdy body is made of stacked coins. Goldengo overwhelms its enemy by firing coin after coin at them in quick succession.
And its ability is fantastic. It cannot have any. I don't think its stats can be changed, and I don't think it can have any status abilities put on it.
Good as gold. A body of pure solid gold gives the Pokemon full immunity to other Pokemon status moves.
Yep.
Nice.
And I think that also extends to having its stats lowered by like Screech or something like that.
Alright guys, this guy, he weighs 66 pounds.
He's just a pile of coins.
And he is 3'11".
He gets around on a golden skateboard or snowboard.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I like
It
his,
does the... Sorry, first, Mary.
I like his the form before it. Gimme.
Yeah.
Gimme.
Yeah.
Ghoul.
I named mine Mimic.
That's fair.
Why are you not wearing a shirt?
It's just like there
I
are
am
so many
wearing
Pokemon I've gone through, right? We've gone through 1,008 Pokemon over here on the side screen for the last little bit of the stream. These two are so stupid, Finizen and Palafin, because it evolves and the only thing that changes is it gets a heart on its chest. And
oh yes.
Yes, look at this. All
It
right, so
sounds the
here's
same.
zero
It looks
form.
the same.
And in order to get it to go to hero form, you have to call it out and then throw it back out, and it turns into this motherfucker that's like All Might.
It's oh my yes.
It's like, what? Who thought of this at the Pokemon Company? Oh
Somebody
man,
watched My Hero
nobody
Academia.
could. My Hero Academia or fucking Superman, because oh man, you know what's the best trope ever? Nobody recognizing the fucking hero. Let's take him into the Pokeball so no one realizes it's him, and
He's
throw it
changing
back
quickly.
out as a superhero.
And he has wicked high attack after that too. He's like one of the highest attack in like the Pokemon series.
That's cool as fuck, though.
I think it's the one that drives me crazy is like Wallish or what have you. It's pretty much the one that swarms. So you get this like derpy, depressed looking fish, and you're just like, that's lovely.
Hold on, I was up here
I don't know
earlier.
what you're talking about.
I got it. Give me a second. I can find it again. I know exactly where it is.
One thing, one of the new Pokemons I really like is Tinkaton
Oh, that
or
line.
them.
Yeah.
I liked them.
I like how when you get to the final evolution Tinkaton, its hammer is just made out of the corpse of a Corvisquire or Corviknight,
Corviknight.
the metal bird, and the shiny
Yeah.
form of Tinkaton. The Pokemon itself looks the same, but its hammer is the color of a shiny Corviknight.
So this one's Shally Wishy Washy. The solo form, and then it goes school form.
And it drives me effing mad. I mean, it seriously drives me effing mad because I'm just like,
stats.
they're like,
oh my God.
they're schooling, and I'm like, oh great, wonderful.
On their own,
You're
they're
going to
weak,
use
but when
this again.
Wishy Washy pull their power together in a school, they become the Demon of the Sea, and it goes from like, like its HP and speed are the same, and everything else is real shit. But you pull it into school form, its attack, defense, special defense, and special attack, fucking zoom.
Yeah, but the problem with it is that when you get into a raid battle with that bitch, that sucker gets like one shot, and you're just like, God fucking damn it! Why?
Okay, hold on, wait. You'll have to
Why
hear this.
did you do this?
It goes from weighing a hot 0.7 pounds and a height of 0.08 to a whopping 26 feet tall, 11 inches, and 173.3 pounds in its school form.
Holy shit!
Oh yeah, no, it's fucking
big boy.
huge.
Yeah.
And it's just
It's
like,
literally, yeah. It's literally like I had one that was just like, they're just like, I'm gonna use substitution. I'm like,
Please
just
don't.
transform! Just transform! For the love of all that's holy, you're going to get one shot. Just transform.
oh, here's a Pokemon that drives people nuts. The Lanarok one, because it has the three. It has the midday, it has the midnight, and then the dusk form that people hate trying to get. And it's so funny because like people get so bent out of shape trying to get this one, especially in the new games, because you have to just worry about the timing in the new games, and you only have like a 6-minute window to do it in, and
it's better than the effing deer.
Which one?
The one from Black and White.
Oh, you mean Deerling?
Oh my God!
There's different.
Hey,
there's 4 different
you
seasons.
have to be in a different season.
There is that.
I like that
my
they've made it.
life.
I like how they've made it now, where it's they consider each one its own thing.
Thank fucking God.
You know, I have 3 out of 4 of those.
It took me an entire year to complete the entire collection. I'm not even joking. I had to wait for the season because they actually do it via your season, and if you change the date on your DS, it would auto sync as soon as you access the internet, and it would revert it to the right season. And you're just like,
and you're like, damn it,
motherfucker! I've been spending so much time trying to get this stupid fucking deer, and I've been in this forest every single month.
Yeah, they also kind of added a new version of that. They added in Scarlet and Violet, they added these burbs. And like one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
No.
Cory Coco.
Man, yeah.
Oh, they
Yeah.
weren't. They weren't
Kitsune
new.
showed me.
They
those are
weren't
new?
new. They are from Sun and Moon. Hold on, I can
Oh, that
find
makes
it.
so much sense.
I didn't
Sorry.
like any of the Sun and Moon Pokemon at all. I just let me find it here.
See, that was the reason
Okay, you
why I
say that
skipped
about
it,
Fennekin.
is because I just did
Or no, that
not
was X
like
and Y.
nothing about it caught my attention. X and Y caught my attention because I specifically wanted the legendary Pokemon from X.
The
Those are
big ass
pretty
deer.
Pokemon.
Yes, it is amazing. I love
Yeah,
that
whatever it
deer.
was.
I love that deer. That deer was my best friend. That
Reminded me
deer
of
was
the deer
amazing.
from Mononoke.
Yep, nope, that's exactly what it is. And that deer was
So let's-
amazing, and it was not the legendary Pokemon, and that made me kind of go derp because the legendary Pokemon was something very different.
Well,
So
it's
we
something
have,
we haven't talked about today. Why haven't we gone over everybody's favorite Pokemon?
That was what we can end with. Let's finish this
Ooh, okay.
topic, and that's what we'll end the thing with. So I have over here on this form. So we have, of course, I just call them what their dances are. I call it the salsa bird, which is the ballet style, Orikoko, and then you have pom pom style, which is basically just cheerleader. It's a cheerleader
I
chick.
call it
Ah.
cheer.
Then
call
you
it
have Payu style, which is hula. And then my favorite, which is Sensu style, which is the fan dancing.
That's
And
fun.
it's so pretty, and I
It's
own
pretty.
each one of them.
I'm
You?
missing 2.
I think I only have the red one.
And so, because it's a base flying type, but then each one, so the ballet is fire, the pom pom is electric, Payu style I think is psychic, yeah, and then Sensu is ghost. Let's so like Thomas was saying here, let's first go with what is everybody's favorite Pokemon type, and I will allow you 2.
Ooh, that is.
I have my 2 already.
Yeah, I've got
my
What
mine
are
as
you
well.
two?
My 2 favorite typings are Ghost and Grass. I love just the design of most Grass and Ghost type Pokemon.
Umbreon is neither of those.
Umbreon is a special case. I love Umbreon nonetheless. What about you, Xiao Xiao?
Oh boy. Ha.
Back to you.
So mine are actually Leaf and I should say plant and
Grass.
normal. Yeah, grass. Sorry, I'm having a moment. Grass and
fine.
normal, actually.
Normal.
Yeah, normal's mine too. No, fuck you. Normal's cool. shit.
Normal,
They
it
got
has a
bunch
lot of
cool
really
designs.
good looking Pokemon.
It does.
Oh,
think
Mine's
mine-
normal poison.
normal poison.
Oh, poison.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
about you,
Bulbasaur
Mary?
was my first starter.
My 2 favorite are actually Dark and Water.
That would explain the croissant.
Is there a dark water type? I don't think there is.
Nope, not yet.
No.
Considering they've had so many like in X,
Actually, I think
not
there might
X,
be.
but
What about
Dark.
Sharpedo?
Nope, it is not dark.
Really?
Sharkpedo?
I
Yeah.
think mine was fighting, which I was like, the fuck.
Oh, maybe.
Huh. I don't know. I also
Sharkpedo
remember
is
being
water and dark.
Oh, I was
Oh,
right.
okay.
Man, you had me second guessing my whole life.
Look, all I
Damn.
know is that every time I get in the water with one of those suckers, I'm like pedaling
yeah,
like nobody's
come after you
business.
So much. They're so great.
Oh my god.
Your types.
That is a tough one. I'm honestly not that sure as to what my favorites would be. As far as starters go, I typically go fire. That was
Same.
the case. That was definitely the case with Ultra Moon as well as with Alpha Sapphire. With Shield and Scarlet, it's been a little bit different. I have gone with the grass starters on those.
So we're not just
But-
talking starters, though. We're talking just overall.
I
like, 'cause
know.
People will just
I
put their
know.
starters away. Usually.
Oh, I never throw away my starters.
Oh, neither do I.
Same.
Uh,
That was the first level 100 Pokemon for me.
Dark
It was a Blissey, funnily enough.
and Electric are probably my two top types.
All right, nice. What about you, baby?
Fire Psychic, no contest.
Driving,
Which
I
is
know
why I
you're
want a
kind of here.
Fennekin
Do
so
you wanna?
bad.
Do you have your two favorite types you want to add to this? You don't have to.
I don't.
That's fine. So let's go with then favorite Pokemon. My two favorite Pokemon, and again, I will allow everybody two.
Hey.
Because I can't pick between my two. Mine is because my problem is I'm not counting legendaries because I then have a problem if I do. This is just specifically for me. Because I have a ball of favorites for legendaries, but for just your basic Pokemon, well, fuck you.
Wow. Okay.
My favorite two Pokemon have to be Gengar and Bulbasaur. Their entire evolutionary line.
No love for Umbreon?
I love Umbreon. He is number 3. I said top 2. In that order, it would go Bulbasaur, Gengar, and then Umbreon. But talking about just the top 2, and it's also one from each of my favorite typings, which I think, ironically, both of them get poison. So.
Yeah, Gengar became a poison type. I don't know when that change happened.
Probably 3rd or 4th gen.
Yeah.
What about you, Xiao Xiao? Top 2 Pokemon. There are 108.
Oh gosh, that's hard.
There are 108 to pick from. Even if it's not your overall favorite, just 2 that you love. I meant 1,008. Even if it's not like your number 1, like top 2 favorites, 2 of them that you love the most.
So if we're just going, so obviously Eevee. Eevee is like my number 1, especially from the old games. As far as the second one, I've got 3 that kind of tie, but
I'll allow it.
oh gosh. The 3 that I tend to like go for every time is actually Muna, Lopunny, and Swabaloon. I love the bird.
I love Bunny's evolution.
So no problem, no joke. I'm leveling up my my Lopunny right now because I've had her sitting, and it took me forever to get her evolved because I was trying to actually sit her at a particular level to get her to learn a move as Bunny. So I finally got her up, but it took a while. So I'm now leveling it. She's level 46 out of my 100 sprints. So I'm like, I've got this. Just a little bit more, baby girl.
Slow and steady wins the race. All right, what about you, Mary?
Are we doing our own separate starters or just starter count too?
Just your favorite 2 overall.
Your favorite Pokemon overall. You don't even have to go starter. I'm just going overall.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. This is gonna be. At basic, one of my favorites is Charmander. I love Charmander.
Guess I have the wrong Pokemon out.
Charmander's adorable.
Oh.
I love him. For my second favorite, it would have to be what's Pokemon's name? It's fuck, what is its name?
Must not be a favorite if you don't know his name.
Describe it.
No!
That's the problem. I'm blanking on everything. Hold on, let me grab my Switch.
You flustered her. She can't think.
We can get back to her.
While she's doing, yeah, go ahead, Beauty.
It's I don't know. That's a bit of a tough one for me too, but I would probably say, jeez, that really is a tough one.
It is, right?
Mary, I saw you open Pokemon.
Yep.
Do we need to come back to you so you can think about it?
Oh my lord.
Yeah, give me a couple more minutes to think on that one.
Baby.
Espeon Fennekin.
Oh, that was easy.
Okay.
Thomas, what about you?
Espeon's just the best, and Fennekin because of the typing from earlier.
Favorite 2?
Yeah.
You said?
I mean, you can
And then
go with
Garde-
like favorite 5
And
if
then-
you wanted to, but
You know, Gardevoir.
Jeez, I love all the evolutions so much, but if I'm ignoring the evolutions, because I think they would easily
Okay.
take the cake for favorite. It would be Puchania.
Poochyena?
ooh,
Puchania,
Poochyena.
sorry,
That's a good one.
like the Puchina one. That one in the evolved one, like I love them so
Mediana.
much.
I remember it was them and
it's-
Houndoom. I think they came out at the same time.
My favorite. So no, Houndoom was I think first or second gen. I think it's
Maybe
first.
second. No, third. I think it came out in Ruby Sapphire.
I don't like Houndoom.
You don't like Houndoom? You with the puppy Houndour?
Yeah, I like the puppy way better.
Okay, no, yeah, it is second gen. So for
Sorry, I'm playing Pokemon right now, as you can tell.
you're fine, hon. So in not Pokemon. Yes. In Pokemon XD Glade of Darkness, which I think was a continuation of
Hail
Coliseum.
Darkness.
I never played Coliseum. I played the fuck out of XD though. Poochyena was one of the Pokemon that I always had in my fucking party because it was such a good Pokemon.
I had my Espeon and I had my Spheal that evolved into Walrein. That thing was a powerhouse.
So I'll give Mary and Beardy just a few more minutes while they're thinking for a second. So going back to like my favorites, so like if I go legendaries and shit, so I have a couple of different favorites. So of course I love Shaman. Shaman's design, both Sky and Head, the ground form, are both adorable. I love the Hedgehog one just a little bit more because it's a little tiny little hedgehog dude, right? But Shaman, Jirachi, Celebi, and Mew, just because
Wow, you
they're
picked
all
the tiny cute ones.
Hold on, it's worse. They're all tiny, but they all are very big powerhouses. But then if you go and you flip that on its head, I also love so each one had their like gimmick, right? The 3 beasts, the 3 horses, the da 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 da. My favorite for the 3s was the 3 fairies in Generation, or not, the fairies. They're psychic Pokemon, but I called them fairies because that's how they look, which was Azelf, Miscreant, and Uxie.
Oh, the 3 lakes.
Mm-hmm. I love. They're just such
black
cute
and
design.
white, wasn't it?
No, that is Sinnoh. I know that because I caught them in my Pokemon Platinum game.
Oh, it was Diamond Pearl.
Mary.
I finally found the name of my other favorite.
Yeah.
It's a little blue. It's a dragon type, and it's like long blue snake with like a dragon head.
Oh, the
kind of thing.
Dreepy?
Not Dreepy. Diani? D-R-A-T.
Dratini?
Oh,
Dratini.
Dragalge. Oh, that one.
Yes, no, he's my other
Dratini. It's Dratini or Dragonair.
Right.
Dratini, Dragonair, and Dragonite. Yeah.
Yes,
I think
no,
the original dragon types.
I love him. He's adorable. Him and Charmander. They're both kind of like dragon-esque. But I love him. He's so cute.
Oh, let's
All right,
see.
Beardy, we can't avoid you any longer.
Yeah, no.
It's Raichu, it's right next to you.
If I'm going starters, if I'm gonna limit myself to starters, I'm going to say Scorbunny and Incineroar. Just because I've done a lot of good with those ones. If I'm gonna go outside of starters, I have to say Umbreon and what was the other one? Part of me wants to say Dedenne, but I'm not entirely sure on
There
that.
isn't a Dedenne, it's that little like gerbil looking dude.
Yeah.
It looks like Raichu, but a gerbil.
Right.
Rounder.
No, I know. It's either that or I'm going more Petco.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, those are good ones. So I know I said we'd end it with the favorite typings. Let's do a quick 5-minute thing though, right before we end. And that'll put my recording in an hour and a half. So let's talk about one big inconsistency between the game and the anime. And it is my biggest well, no. It is my
Oh
biggest
gosh,
fucking
yeah.
gripe in all Pokemon, Magikarp.
Oh my god.
Magikarp and Feebas are amazing Pokemon, but the games refuse to acknowledge that. The games call them
Just don't let them be
useless and
good.
everything, but the anime has episodes where it's like, you watch this tiny fucking fish fucking suplex a damn dragon Pokemon and win.
Well,
And
what
it's-
about Goldeen?
I don't like Goldeen.
Yep.
I'm
She
talking
used
about
the hell
mainly-
out of Goldeen.
So
But even Goldeen, like in Magikarp and Feebas's actual dex entries, they are called useless until they evolve. Unless you are in the anime.
Well, Feebas, I don't think can evolve unless it's super got the pretty stat up, and I think
Milotic.
it's female. Yeah.
But no, both of them,
So-
those two Pokemon are considered quote unquote stupid and bad until they evolve.
so there was
Magikarp, I agree. Feebas, I do not.
so there was
So I'm actually
there's
going-
Hold on.
Sorry.
there's a comic that I read, and the artist unfortunately hasn't updated in a really long time. But they had a joke because it was the main character actually was a Pokemon trainer who was way too old to be a Pokemon trainer. He refused to leave home. So his mom gave him his first Pokemon. His first Pokemon was a Magikarp, which he named Mr. Fish. And because it was quote useless, he wasn't sure how to Pokemon fight, so he actually just walloped everything with the actual Magikarp. Like he used the Magikarp as a
It's like a bat.
yes, he would just hit things with the Magikarp. And the Magikarp was super, super stupid strong
Well, I
because
mean,
it's scaling.
Magikarp must be pretty hard because I remember Meow tried to bite one and it broke his teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was exactly the joke that they made. So he literally just like was journeying around, just beating everything with Mr. Fish until Mr. Fish evolved into Gyarados, and he's like, "What are you doing?"
It's
like, what is going on? And then they're just like, "Oh, you got bigger. Wow, you got longer. I can't pick you up anymore. I don't know what to do with you now."
Yeah, you were weighing 6 pounds to 600 pounds.
But it was just like, it was
It's-
hilarious because it was just like this Magikarp just looked clueless the entire time. Like,
Well, Magikarp
what?
has no thoughts behind those eyes.
And it's so funny
Yeah.
because like in like there, I think it's one of the Gen 4 animes with Dawn as Ash's partner, and they are visiting these two girls that have a Magikarp and a Feebas Pokemon that are known for being evolved because
I think it
Milotic
was
is
a-
super pretty and
they
Magikarp
had a
is super
gym
strong.
that was like all under evolved Pokemon or something like that.
I think so. I don't remember.
Yep.
But it's like no, like in the anime, if you trained a Magikarp, it didn't need to evolve because it was an amazing Pokemon. And in some of the older games, it could still learn moves if you were patient with it.
Oh,
But
that
in all-
pissed me off
But
so
in all
bad.
the newer games, it can't. You can't teach it a TM. You can't sit there and wait it out for like 20 levels just to get a move. You have to evolve it. And
I
that
think the
is
best you can do with Magikarp is have it learn Takedown. I think that's level like 45
no,
or something
it
like
not
that.
anymore.
Not
in the-
anymore.
in the
You can
newest games,
only, it only has flail.
It only has flail and it'll only evolve. It
And it
only
was-
evolves
but-
it whenever.
But flail actually does do damage now, right? So it's like that apparently is a trade-off. However,
It also damages
Now
you
I'm gonna-
sometimes.
yeah, I'm gonna have to see about this because I'm gonna have to go and catch a Magikarp now and just level the crap out of it to 99.
Oh, you're right.
So, I'm
Splash,
thinking
tackle,
Andalite.
and flail.
Yep, and Splash does shit all.
hmm So I guess your best bet is tackle then.
Even then, some of them then won't even learn
Well,
tackle
hang
because
on.
I've had
For flail, the user flails about aimlessly to attack. The less HP the user has, the greater the move's power. So if you have 1 HP, you're gonna do max damage.
Swaballoon.
but
Sorry.
it's just no. That was my last gripe for this. Because just it's so dumb that's like one of the few.
Shiny
inconsistencies.
Magikarp looks hella cool though. It's gold.
Oh yeah, that's how that one guy. Technically, in the one of the original things where James sells,
Yes.
James buys that really expensive Magikarp, right?
Mhm.
Originally, it was supposed to be gold, but the animators just never made it gold because it's supposed to be a shiny one.
I was
Because
cool
in the
that Ash had a shiny
comics, they made it a gold one.
Well, the funky thing about was so originally Ash traded for it,
Hmm.
and he traded Pikachu, and he's like, no, or not Pikachu, but one of his other ones that was a starter, and he's like, no, I can't do this. So he decided to trade it back, and the guy was like, oh, okay,
They did that as
we can
well
do
with
that.
in the anime I know what you're talking about because he traded Butterfree for a Mankey, and he decided he didn't want to keep Mankey, he wanted his Butterfree back.
Mhm.
It's just it's interesting to like explore the Pokemon thing, right? And we'll eventually come back
Yeah.
to this topic most likely.
Yeah.
I think that's what we'll call it for tonight after an hour and a half of
I
recording.
thought it was cool that Ash actually
Although
had a
I
shiny
would like to
Pokemon.
add one bit as far as the overall favorite Pokemon. A number 3 for me would be the Galarian Marowak.
The ghost one.
Yeah.
The Ghost Fire one.
Oh man, we can do a whole thing about Cubone, but we'll come back to this topic eventually.
Cubone!
We'll
Oh,
Oh.
hold on, guys. I gotta end it.
Yep.
If y'all wanted to talk about this, we should have done it earlier. It's too late now.
We gotta make this 2.5 hours. Let's go.
No, I have to put this on YouTube.
Well, part 2 next week.
No, we're gonna do a different topic next week. All right, guys, but we're gonna be back on our normal schedule with this each Sunday. Keep your eyes out. 9:30 Central, 10 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Mountain Standard, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And other timings where you need them. But we'll be back here every Sunday with this podcast until we run out of shit to talk about. You'll find out next week's topic next week whenever you show up. So I hope all of you have a absolute fantastic day.
Or night.
And thank you, or night. Thank you so much for hanging out and watching, whether it was here on Twitch or over on YouTube where this will be posted. And if you only were able to watch part of this and you want to check it out, search up Kitsukune on YouTube, and you guys will find these streams as well. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, and we'll see you next Sunday. Fair winds.